Hi, I'm on my third day of quitting nicotine and weed and caffeine. And I'm going to explain all the hardships my body and mind are going through, but also the wonderful things. And I'm going to explain what I'm doing to battle my cravings and how I'm seeing this pain and these withdrawals as an opportunity for many different things. So, first of all, one thing I'm doing, I'm carrying around in my pocket, which is almost the same shape as my e-cig, is a harmonica. And it's also with my hands, and yeah, it helps. It helps. If I have a craving, I go outside and I walk around and I play my harmonica. Or if I just want to, because I just like playing harmonica. So, another thing I'm doing, which I was doing a little bit beforehand anyway. I mean, I've been doing this, like, I don't know, at least once or twice a month, and sometimes once or twice a week. But now it's gonna be daily or almost daily. I mean, I'm not a fanatic about working out, but I do like this. It's a training sword, and I don't know. I just naturally came up with things. I don't even know exactly what I'm doing, but there's all types of certain things that I just do. It's way too tiny right here for me to actually show them. But like, I don't know. I just have fun finding ways to bend my body and to, like, it feels natural. So sometimes I'll just jump around and twirl around with this thing and find ways to use my momentum and make it go faster. Or sometimes I'll just sit and, like, balance like this and just kind of become one with the sword. And it's a way to utilize my breath, my body, and my focus, my mind. Not so much my mind. So I don't know. I was trying to turn that into something. It's not really, but yeah, it's a way for me to focus and not so much escape, but get more in tune with my body, my mind, and my focus. So, and also, if I have to, I'll fight all the non-vegan haters. No, I'm just. That's a ridiculous desire, which is not. It's not the main motivation, but I'm human, and I have faults, and that's a thought that I laugh at whenever it comes up in my mind. Anyway, so these are things that I do to deal with cravings, and the hardest thing so far, let me think. Yeah, the hardest thing would be sleep so far. It's been, whenever I go to sleep, it's like I'm really tired at the end of the night because I've been just, well, I mean, fatigued because of withdrawals. I'm pretty sure that's one of the number one reasons. But I've also been very active. I've been doing things to keep my mind preoccupied, waking up at 5 a.m. and just constantly doing things. Besides the meditation, which helps a lot. And I'll talk more about that later. But sleep has been the hardest thing because whenever I'm going to sleep, I'm so stiff. All my muscles are stiff and I'm having night sweats and I can't fall asleep. And I'm waking up throughout the night. So that's definitely affecting me. But one thing I've done is I've started making sure I'm not eating 3 hours before I go to bed. And I'm going to bed with at least 8 or 9 hours to spare before I have to wake up. So I'm making sure that I at least have enough time. I'm giving my body enough time to rest. So that's good. So it's really not that bad. Like, it's uncomfortable whenever I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm feeling like so stiff and like I can't go to sleep. But the meditation and breathing and just giving myself some space away from my mind, my thought process, and my body has helped out a lot. So that's the hardest thing. That and the cravings at certain times, like after work. Tonight's the third day, and I work 2 to 10 p.m. So I've been going to sleep at 8:30 p.m. So I'm gonna be very tired, which is a good thing. It means that whenever I come home tonight, I'm gonna be less inclined to, or have less cravings, because I'm gonna be so tired. I'm gonna be ready for bed. I'll be home at like 10 or 10:20 p.m. And usually, I mean, I've been going to sleep at 8 8:30 or 9 p.m. So, um, but yeah, so I've been using these withdrawals as an opportunity to push my perception and my life energies or whatever into a different dimension beyond the physical body and thought process. Um, because it's intense energy, and I can give into it and let my thought process create more suffering. I can turn myself into a victim, or I can use the extra energy, even if it's uncomfortable. Like, I have energy whenever I'm trying to sleep, but I can't sleep. It's like tenseness. It's this energy. It's the withdrawal symptoms. And I can take that energy and just like turn it into more suffering. Like, oh, here I am. Oh, why can't I sleep? Or I can use that energy as a tool to further separate myself from my mind and my body, and breathe and do certain meditation practices. So every single time it feels overwhelming, and even when it's not overwhelming, I do that. I breathe in. I am not this mind. No, first I say, I am not the body. And then as I exhale, I am not even this mind. And that itself, it's a spiritual process, which has created a lot of stability within myself, and also joy and a natural high. And I'm realizing, this is day 3, I've said this like 3 times. I'm realizing the more I go in this direction and open the door to that dimension of life, I've been missing out on natural highs and natural ways to relieve stress. I mean, really shifting my perception to where all the stress that I had before just isn't there anymore. And of course, there's still situations and things that have triggered me, and I'm more easily triggered being irritable. But I'm putting more conscious effort and attention into just watching and observing the mind and body, and especially in those moments, taking a step back and giving myself space rather than getting so caught up inside the thought process and the pain in my body and then identifying with that. And so this is an opportunity not only for me to better myself on this my physical body and my thought process and that type of human being I am, but also to actually go deeper into life and to utilize these challenges and withdraw, and just this whole shift of how my mind and body, how I'm managing them. This whole shift, it's a huge opportunity. So even though there's a lot of pain, it's growing pains. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Or I'm removing layers of myself that were causing suffering. And so for now, it's like these chemicals inside of me, these thought processes, everything, I'm like peeling it off. And it hurts. There's pain involved. There's suffering. But I'm also experiencing deeper, already, 3rd day, already experiencing a deeper involvement, a deeper way of living, of perceiving, more joy, deeper senses of joy. Although it's definitely, there's joy and there's still a lot of suffering. So it's like I have a lot of emotions and experience. It's very intense. My life has become more intense. And I'm starting to experience more joy, more compassion, and just deeper emotions in general, and more stability over my mind, body, and emotions. And so, I'm not perfect. None of this is perfect. None of this is saying that I'm better than anybody or even myself of how I was before. It's just how it is. And so this is how I'm dealing with the withdrawals. It's it's really not as challenging or soul crushing. There have been times where I've tried to quit, and very stressful times and very stressful situations, and I didn't have this type of perception, or I wasn't managing my mind and body in such ways, and I wasn't doing any meditation or yoga, and instead I was doing things that were actually counterproductive. That after a while the stress built up so much, and I just wasn't able to manage the stress, or I wasn't managing the stress like I could have been. I was unconsciously choosing not to. I was getting so caught up in my mind and thought process and writing and creating music and what other people thought and certain things, that stress became so unbearable that I started smoking again, thinking that that escape would make me feel better, which of course it does for a brief moment on the surface. On my thought process, in my body, calms it down. The muscles are no longer tense. The thought process is dumbed down. I'm not even thinking, really. It's like I'm not using this miracle of a mind that I have. And so I feel better because those parts of my brain just aren't even running. I'm just like, ugh. Okay, not that dumb. Okay, but there is some truth to that, where whenever I'm smoking, I'm dumbing down certain parts of my brain and my thought process and my body in general. But there's another way, which is much better. It just makes more logical sense, but you don't know it's true until you actually experience it. You don't know that this natural high of life, just walking around or sitting, I don't even need to be by pretty flowers. I don't need to be by a beautiful sky. I can be in a dark room and just breathe and experience joy. That's something I couldn't do whenever I was relying on weed and nicotine to create that joy and that calmness. But now it's like, it's even better also because as I walk by that flower, I can actually appreciate it more. I can feel the joy and all the emotions that come with it even more intensely than if I just smoked a joint and came out here and walked by a flower. Because I was doing that too. I was still appreciating nature. I was smoking, and that was a huge part of my smoking process, was being in tune with like nature and some meditative breathing exercises and certain things. And also smoking nicotine was a way for me to stress relieve and at the end of the day calm down, all these things. And caffeine, it raises up my energy, and a lot of that was just compulsive, just drinking caffeine because I've been doing it. But without these things, I'm realizing I can experience all these emotions and all these sensations that I wanted to experience, and other sensations, other more blissful sensations, other more intense emotions. I experienced them even better without the substances. In fact, the substances were really diminishing a lot of things, and we're creating a lot more problems. Like the stress that I think that smoking took away, it was the one that created that stress. Or it created a lot of that stress. And so just vaping was just relieving my withdrawal symptoms. It wasn't actually relieving the stress that I already had. It was relieving the nicotine stress that I had. And also the other stress that I had from my thought process and from stressful situations in life. Now that I'm actually consciously choosing to deal with those things and manage my mind and body in a more mature, more open and just better way, I'm dealing with life's stress much better, and a lot of it's just evaporating away, and I'm transforming into just a whole another being that doesn't see stress the same way and doesn't see my mind and body and thought process the same way. I'm able to have some distance from that. So smoking, both nicotine and weed, was keeping me from creating that type of mind and body management within myself. smoking weed and vaping was keeping me from actually going to the next level of being able to see, I don't want to say deal with my stress, because a lot of this stress was just self-created, and saying deal with my stress is saying it's as if the stress is going to be there no matter what. Like, it's natural for all of us to have stress, but the stress that many of us experience, all of us experience, is self-created. No matter how stressful your life situations are, a lot of it is self-created. A lot of it is just the way we manage our mind and our bodies. And we're not being conscious of how we're creating all types of stress inside our lives with the chemicals and certain ways that we identify with certain things and the certain ways that we just manage our mind and bodies is creating stress. And so now that I'm shifting my perception and putting attention and energy towards changing the way I perceive things and changing the way I manage my mind and body, I'm realizing that all these substances were not giving me what I thought they were giving me. So with this realization, even though I'm on the third day of being nicotine free after using very heavily, it's not as hard as it was before. But I'm still at the beginning of the third day. I mean, challenges are going to come, and as long as I practice what I preach, I'm feeling pretty good about it. But I'm not having any expectations. I'm trying to talk about, the truth. I'm trying to share the exact truth in the moment with you. And so we'll see what happens. But I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling joyful. And at the same time, my body is feeling tense. Like, I'm in pain. But I'm still feeling good. And not in a toxic, delusional way where I'm escaping from reality. I'm leaning into the pain. I'm leaning into myself. And so leave a comment down below. Are you quitting? Are you thinking about quitting? Do you feel joy in life? Or have you been in a struggling process, constantly full of stress, full of self-doubt and judgment and pain that you're creating with your mind and with your body and the things that you put into your body? Do you have hope? I have hope for you. If I can do it, you can do it. For the animals! Woo!